Bunsen Burner, episode 78. We're here, and it's just us. Another cozy episode.
Boring.
Cozy episode on a Thursday. Unusual for us, but
Krakatoa.
Kraken.
we're doing it.
Whoa. That was not coordinated.
No, we're just awesome like that.
Oh, you guys both did it?
We
Yeah.
both did it. We're just on the ball like that.
Me and Fred are doing it.
Sure are.
In the dark?
Yeah, pooping in the dark.
Yes. We were discussing our nighttime washroom habits. I agree. Turning the light on to go piss. That's stupid. Who does that? Just wakes you up. You know what? Even number two, I'm quite happy to bring my cell phone and just turning the light on, and that's enough, you know?
It's like a survival horror game.
Plus, who shits in the middle of the night? Who wakes up and goes, I have to shit? When
Yeah.
does that ever happen?
I mean, sometimes you have bad food that doesn't sit well.
I feel like I would get that out of my system before I went to bed, though.
I mean, it doesn't always happen that way.
Maybe if you're sick.
Well, yeah, that's the point, right?
Yeah, I think Larry David did talk about that once, where he's like, if it's the middle of the night, I'll go and just sit down, and his wife like leaves the toilet seat up when he falls in. I've done that before, like not in the dark, but fall in a little bit, and it kind of hurts. You go, oh fuck, goddamn. You kind of stop yourself. You don't like fall directly in there and like splash all over the place like an animal.
No, that'd be horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, you're used to having that couple centimeters of cushion.
Yeah, you're just like instead of like I don't know if it's not there, you go like it tenses up your muscles.
I don't like this.
Yeah, it's a weird episode. It's a Thursday. We just released the Aurelian episode today. I'm sitting on the floor. Fred mentioned he sits on the floor sometimes, and
All the time,
I'm
man.
giving it a try. It feels like I'm at a sleepover. I got my
How do you like
Lay's and ketchup
like
and a
it so
little
far?
Coke. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I'm still baffled that you have Lay's and ketchup. Here in Canada, we have Lay's ketchup chips.
Never heard of it. Never heard of that. I don't think Americans are aware of ketchup chips.
That's just like the flavor?
Yeah.
Huh.
You know what they had
Google
a
ketchup
while
chips,
ago?
man.
They had Lay's wasabi chips. Tastes like wasabi, like sushi wasabi.
Yeah. Well, you know, here where I live in Canada, anyways, we have a high Asian population, and
Oh,
the Asian
Hassel.
and the Asian grocery stores have a lot of imported Chinese, Japanese, wherever potato chip flavors. So you have like hot pot flavored potato chips, shrimp flavored potato chips, like noodle bowl flavored potato chips. Like it's crazy. Kimchi chips, everything you can imagine.
Yeah, opposed to here, we got the Doritos, tacos, flavor.
You guys have
Taco
chips?
Bell. You got the Dorito taco.
You guys have chips and ketchup to dip them in.
Yeah, I'm
We
looking
do.
at this right here. Doritos
But I
has
don't-
the tangy
you guys-
ketchup.
You guys live in America. How has no one thought that if someone dips chips in ketchup to combine the two? That's what you guys do.
I haven't dipped chips in ketchup since I was in probably middle school. This is the first time I'm doing it in the
That
past
just
couple
means-
of days for the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
That just means that there's been at least 20 years of someone being aware of dipping chips in ketchup.
yeah. This is a strictly Canadian thing. It has a website here, Canadian Food to U.S., and it says buy the ketchup chips.
Oh, we have good taste. What kind of stuff?
I would actually dig mustard chips. I think that'd be pretty good. Mustard.
Mustard chips,
I ever tried?
Yeah, mustard chips.
There is
Mustard chips dipped in ketchup.
ranch
a
chips.
flavor that came from I think Japan is honey butter chips, which sounds like it'd be horrible, but it's actually
No, it doesn't.
really good.
Honey and butter? It sounds good.
I know, but it's sweet, right? And you would expect chips to be a bit more savory, but no, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's like barbecue. That's a little sweet.
I bought some honey Dijon chips, like the big kettle chip bag at the market, and the dude who was like bagging them up, he's like bagging everything, and he like takes that item in particular, and he's like, man, these look fucking good, though. He's like, I'm about to copy these for real, for real. And I was like, oh yeah. He goes, nah, for real, these look good. I was like, okay.
I didn't understand how.
And he was like shrugging his shoulders, like some what would you even call that? Like some swagster or something.
Like right up to his ears, like yo.
Yeah, like moving his shoulders up and down, like woo.
Dan, what was your Kraken? What do you got going on?
It's a little Pepsi, it's like a throwback Pepsi in the white can. It says soda shop
awesome.
made with real sugar. So I'm just drinking sugar like a fat boy. Like a diabetic.
Can't provide it yourself.
Yeah.
I've got an actual beer for once. This doesn't happen often.
Oh, Fred's got a beer. He's drunk already. Get this guy some Gator Light.
Fred fell off the wagon on a Thursday, huh?
Woo!
Yep.
Friday night somewhere in Toronto.
I have a blue moon. What? What?
A blue moon.
Yeah, blue moon, Belgian moon.
The
whatever.
citrus beer.
Yeah. A Blanche Belgian white. I was reading the French side.
Our stupid friends want us to drink with them tonight. He's like, no, podcast. All night? And they're asking questions. All night? You gonna be there all night? But you don't want to drink? No.
You're like,
I'm
fuck
busy.
that. We gotta hang out.
I'm
With Fred.
I'm sitting on the floor. I'm busy sitting on the floor. I don't exactly know how the Aurelian episode went. I remember being pretty toasted.
It sounded pretty good while recording it. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet.
Listen to a bit of it. I skipped around.
Yeah, don't listen to the whole thing.
Don't listen to the whole thing.
Don't listen.
Just kidding.
Was it that bad?
No, it was just a good episode.
Yeah, it was a cool guy.
It was kind of awesome, actually.
I was gonna say something. I forgot what the hell I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, oh, I know what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna say, oh.
I bought that fucking external hard drive, so I think what I'm gonna do at some point is download all these episodes and just have them, just in case.
That'd be good because I delete them.
Right. Exactly. I'm gonna download all of them and then put them in an external hard drive, and then they'll just be there.
Yeah, because
If
I
I
deleted.
ever need them.
I deleted and as I edit them so I can have space for the next ones. But I do it at like batches of 10, so I'll just have like the latest 10 episodes, and then it'll be like, oh, your space is running out, because these turn out to be like a gig or two depending on how fucking long they are.
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of reminding myself that too. It's like, okay, I was gonna do that. Not only was I gonna say that, but I was also gonna do that.
Walking the walk too.
Yeah, this now this podcast is just like my mental notes that I'm sharing with everybody, but I'm actually just talking to myself.
Yeah, you message me your personal notes sometimes.
I do. I message Paul my personal notes. I'm like, this is so I don't forget.
I'm just reading the comments for the Aurelian episode for the first time.
Topical.
There aren't many yet.
Topical.
Gorgoroth.
Topical.
Gorgoroth. Topical.
Hear from Insta.
Cool.
It's not the most diverse comment section we've ever had.
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the comments. Yeah, do better, guys.
Yeah, comment more shit.
Yeah, and let more people like us, more people comment, more people, whatever. I was working.
We're up subscribers. We're getting there.
I was working with my dad the other day, and we were loading up a truck to deliver parts to the Swedish guy, and the whole truck is like jam fucking packed, and I'm holding a bumper up and that's basically holding everything in from like tumbling out. And my dad's struggling to find room to put more stuff, and he's got two wheel well like moldings in his, not moldings, wheel wells, like the whole thing's where the wheels go under. And he's got two of those in his hands, and he steps down off the step, and he slips and falls out of the truck onto the floor. And he had a big old like hematoma bump on his thigh.
That's what they
He went down pretty good.
That's what they don't show you with slapstick comedy. The bruises.
The bruises, the bumps, the emotional scars.
Yeah. Did you laugh?
No, I didn't laugh.
Oh.
I usually don't laugh when I don't know. I guess it depends how somebody falls. Say like Nick Waldvogel. Usually I would laugh at some of the ways that he would fall. Like one in particular was we were out hiking one time. It was like me, Nick, and Robert Wiley or something. And Nick is behind us. Nick's kind of a fat guy. Not super fat, but fat enough. And we're hiking down a hill, and Nick has like a big long stick, looks like a spear. And I hear from behind us, I hear him like shuffling his feet, and he goes, "Die, being," and he like tries to stab me, and I move. Or no. I don't think. How did it go? Yeah, that's how it went. Okay, so Nick tries to stab me with the stick. I move. He stabs Wiley in the back, and like the stick breaks, like on his back, and like I guess Nick didn't expect that, and like his velocity of him moving and the stick breaking, he like tripped and just like started tumbling really fast down the hill. I think at that point I was laughing really hard because it went die, being, stick, break, tumbling down the hill. That was really funny. I think when I didn't laugh at Nick is when he did this like jump somewhere out in the woods, like on his bike. You went over a jump. You're supposed to land like there's a log that like somebody molded with the mud, so it makes like a landing.
A little ramp, yeah.
A little ramp, yeah. Nick gets, but he doesn't make the landing. He just hits the log, and like he goes Superman flying, and like his like front, you know, the tit area like scrapes all over the ground. And I think he said something like that. He's like, "Oh, my tits." He said something like that. So yeah, that was pretty good.
So when it looks painful, no laughs allowed?
I don't know if there's anything allowed, but
I kind of have to, right? I mean, it looks painful, but it's still funny.
Yeah, I laugh.
Yeah, I have to. What else can you do? Cry?
well, at Nathan's house, remember Vince kind of got a little bit drunk and he just like kind of walked into the pool by accident.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. And our friend Marissa was there, and she hadn't seen him in a long time. It was like her ex-boyfriend or something. And so she goes, I'm like, "Hey, somebody just fell in the pool." And she turns and she goes, "Oh my God, it's Vince!" Oh, so that was funny. But yeah, I don't think I don't think I did much this week. We just had practice. That's really about all we did. Delivered to the Swedish guy. Dad fell. I think I covered all that. Yeah.
Freddy?
So Paul, yeah. What does Freddy got?
It's been a fairly dull week, but I've just been like,
I uncrisscrossed my legs and accidentally kicked my laptop.
dude, you're sitting on the floor. How can things go wrong down there?
Because I'm in close proximity to everything, I suppose.
A lot of
Here, I'm gonna lay down like Sheba style.
There we go.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, here we go. Now I'm relaxed.
No, it's been a fairly dull week, but I've been like obsessed with finding death metal albums that just sound the way I want them to. I don't know how else to describe it, because like I'm not looking for things that are very thrash influenced right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now he gets it.
Seems to be very little rhyme or reason to it, because some of the best death metal albums I can think of do have a lot of thrash influence, but I'm just looking for a particular sound or vibe. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, it seems like you've been posting that Purulence split a lot recently.
That one's
That's a
been
great one.
getting quite a few plays. So like when it comes to death metal that I consider essentially exactly what I want to hear, I always come back to the first incantation and Demilich. Those tend to be my go-tos. But I've been trying to like see what else I can kind of squeeze into that section. And I've realized that the first Wombbath album, Internal Caustic Torments, uh, fits in there pretty well. What else? Dominus, View to the Dim, has that very deep kind of guttural sound without being uh, too much on the brutal death metal side of it. Ceremonies, Tyranny from Above's been getting a lot of plays. Uh, Gorelust, actually, Reign of Lunacy, that one's a cool album.
That's very
And Miasma's Changes definitely falls in there. And one's a bit weirder because it has a much cleaner sound, but Promises Impure by Demented Ted.
Yeah, I love
That
Demented Ted.
is a really fucking good album. There's some
Yeah, we gotta-
passage in there, like you first start playing it, and it kind of sounds like your general meat and potatoes death metal, but they do some weird shit in there. It's almost sounds like an American version of Demilich at some points in it because it's still this like chugging, fairly groovy death metal album, but there's some bizarre, weird little technicalities in here and there that just kind of make you go, "What the fuck did I just hear?" So that's a really cool album. I really like that one. Uh, Demigod and Mangled Torsos have been getting a lot of plays. Um, oh, Jumpin' Jesus.
Really good one.
Stupid ass band name, but the
No,
artist.
good band name.
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of like up there with Demented Ted, actually.
Good band name.
I think a friend of mine, Anu, brought this up. I think Demented Ted is supposed to be a reference to Ted Bundy, but I haven't seen any interviews to confirm. Yeah, those are the kind of the albums I can stick in there. So like, I don't even know how to describe what the sound I'm looking for is because like, Vital Remains Into Cold Darkness is one of my favorite top death metal albums, but I wouldn't slide it in with any of the albums I've mentioned. It just sounds totally different to me for whatever reason. Same with Suffocation, Cryptic Existence, Tiamat, Sumerian Cry. These are all like kind of like top tier death metal albums for me, but
Understood.
I don't know why they don't fit in the same category for me. Oh, Infestor does fit in that category. Or not. I don't know, that's very surprising.
Sorry, I was chewing
Anyways.
chips.
That's kind of what I've been doing.
I don't know if I had ever brought this up before, but you bring up Demented Ted, and
Yeah.
I was telling Mac, I don't know if it was in one of our comment sections or what, but I was talking to him like briefly, and he has like a what do you call it, like a profile picture, like something from Ed, Ed and Eddie, and there was a comic book that Ed was reading. It was called The Curse of Evil Tim, and I always thought Demented Ted, weird band name, but it works. And then that name from Ed, Ed and Eddie, Evil Tim. I always thought that would be a cool name for a death metal band. Evil Tim.
Evil Tim.
Evil Tim,
I can see
Demented
that.
Ted. You see what I'm doing there?
Well, remember Monty Python's Holy Grail, Search for the Holy Grail? The sorcerer that keeps them from crossing that final bridge to get to the Holy Grail his name's Tim.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, that's not him. No, it's Tim the Enchanter. He's the wizard that helps them along the way. And wait, is it? God, I haven't seen this movie in ages. Which one's Tim?
I don't remember.
Tim the Enchanter. Yeah, he's the wizard that helps them along. Some who call me Tim.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever start another death metal band. If I do, maybe it'll be called Evil Tim. But if I don't, and you the listener gets there first, have at it. I just want a band. I just want there to be a death metal band called Evil Tim. Doesn't have to be my band, but I want that to be. I want that to exist.
Yeah,
So take it.
fair.
Take the name. This is me giving you the name Evil Tim for your death metal band.
Someone out there, make it happen, and we'll
Make it happen.
we'll do an
And you
episode
better
around
you better be good.
we'll do an episode around your demo.
Yeah, if it's good.
Or if it's bad.
Yeah, if it's bad. We've never done a bad one.
Have an entire
Actually-
I don't know, that Wooten order was kind of iffy. Lullaby was pretty borderline too.
Well, Norden was iffy. Yeah, I guess we have done some relatively bad albums. Whatever.
Unintentionally bad.
It's unintentionally, that's subjective. Whatever you want to call
I
it.
think like going into the Lullaby, I liked that album and I still liked it, but I was kind of expecting everyone else not to. That's kind of the direction it went. The Wotan Orden, I kind of got the impression that we all thought we'd like it, and we all kind of realized that we really didn't.
Yeah, that's exactly how I thought. Because I when I heard it, I was digging. Like originally when I heard it, I was like totally digging what I was hearing. And then Paul was like, "Yeah, these songs are good." And then I think as it went on, we're like, "Okay, that's
enough.
Yeah, it's enough. It's not great."
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the album, but
No.
I wouldn't like go to the end of the earth to track down a copy or anything.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I can bring up too. We all reunited with the old drummer from Demon Slot and Funeral Smoke, Anticristo, also known as Angel or
Black Angel.
Black Angel, right? Well, we were kind of just standing around on Friday, listening to music and stuff, hanging out, drinking beers, and he showed me one band that stood out to me particular from Japan called Yvonne or Yvonne, something like that. I uploaded one of their releases like 2 days ago.
Yeah. That was a new one to me.
that shit's good. I saw their third demo, I think, and it said, like, the description said something like all encompassing maximalist black metal, and I like that idea.
Maximalist. Wow.
Yeah, not minimalist. You hear that a lot. Minimalist black metal. Maximalist black metal. I like that idea, and I think he was kind of going for the idea of Japanese bands in particular, like encapsulating all the ideas that is like particular to Japanese black metal, I suppose. It's good. It's good stuff. I really like it.
You know, I've barely touched black metal in the last like week and a half, but
Yeah.
speaking of Japanese bands, one of the death metal bands that I think is totally top tier from Japan is Void, with 2 Ds.
Don't know if I know that one.
Desperate Truth is a fucking banger of an album. And this is a band that started off like... That one's pretty rooted in death metal, but there's quite a bit of...
Oh, okay.
thrash, even,
That's
like-
what the album was that's in that corner of all those rows. I was like, what is that?
on the picture I took? Yeah. Yeah, that's Void.
Cool.
That's,
I'll have to check that out.
Solid fucking album. And it does have like hints of thrash and death throughout, but it's pretty solidly death metal. And they took a fucking weird direction, because now I don't know how to describe
Psychobilly,
what
it
they're...
says.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw?
That is not a direction that you normally hear bands going after death metal. Although I saw that their last album, hang on, what's it called?
Say Alive?
Say Alive, that's it. It uses the same logo as they did when they were death metal. I don't know if they've used that the whole way through. I don't think they have. So
No,
I'm kinda
for
curious.
for Doku Rock, it's like some other type of logo and terrible cover.
I'm wondering if they put a bit more death metal into Stay Alive, but I'm probably not going to find out anytime soon. Just being honest.
There's a couple cool
Quite happy
song
with
titles
Desperate Truth.
off that Doku Rock. Track 6, Battle of Junkie. Track 7, Hot Rod Crazy Man.
Joe,
I
Joe,
love
Helicopter of Doom.
I love Japanese song
Track
titles.
2, Sunglasses. Cool. Nice.
Hell, on the Texas Chainsaw album, fairly standard like death metal-ish titles: Skull, Sorrow, Desperate World, Doom Snake God, and then you have track 7, Vanilla. It's just
We've
I
mentioned
haven't heard that album, but it's kind of weird. Anyways, whatever. Desperate Truth by Void. Check it out. Fucking smokes. Also,
out.
totally off topic, but shout out to Shannon because on the Serum episode, his comment saying Fred came correct as usual. I appreciate that comment very, very much.
correct as usual. Had we ever brought up
If Austin were on this particular episode, he'd be talking about a fedora right now, guaranteed. Also, I mentioned there's a new Barathrum album. It actually does sound pretty good. I haven't heard the whole thing yet, but I haven't been too enamored with what Barathrum did for the last couple albums, but this one sounds pretty fucking solid.
I haven't heard it either. I suppose I'll check
called
it out.
Uberkill. It's called Uberkill. I'm not a big fan of the name, but
Okay.
what I've heard of it sounds pretty solid.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my list so I don't forget.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah. Well, just since you were bringing up Japanese death metal, I was wondering if we ever had brought up the band Eroded.
Eroded. I think.
Yeah,
don't
do you know
think-
what that one is?
I don't think so.
Fred, you have to know what that is, right? The album's called In.
Yeah. No, I know this one. These guys were on the which compilation is it? Deadly Sins. They're on the Deadly Sins album. Their track on there is what introduced me to them. They are a cool band. I
It's
don't
been
have
quite a
copy of
while,
In.
but
I don't have a copy of In, so I'm not like super familiar with it, but it's pretty cool. I've heard it once or twice.
all right, I'm gonna put that in the list too, just because I thought of it, and I haven't heard it in a while. Uploaded, here we go, 14 years ago. Very good.
But that compilation, Deadly Sins, is an awesome fucking compilation. There are so many good bands on there. It introduced me to so many Japanese or death, thrash, grind bands that I never knew before.
What is the compilation called again?
Deadly Sins.
How do I find that? Just Japanese comp?
What label released this stupid compilation? Hang on.
Stupid.
MCR Company. Yeah, I call everything stupid. It's okay.
What did you say? CR Company?
MCR Company.
MCR. My Chemical Romance.
Here it is. Deadly Sins. I'll send it to you in our chat. But for everyone listening, it is Deadly Sins on the label MCR Company. Came out in 1993. It has some Japanese bands you've probably heard of, like Void that we just talked about, and Maggoty Corpse, which I believe got some reissue not too long ago.
That band's good.
I don't know if I
Terror
remember
Factor.
Maggoty Corpse.
I showed you them a while ago.
You
Yeah,
did?
they're awesome.
Hmm.
Terror Factor is a pretty good death thrash band.
You'll find it in your like videos.
I will. Okay, apparently wasn't that. Apparently wasn't that one.
Eroded, as we mentioned, is on there. It's a track from their demo, I think. And then some bands called Beyond Description, Gabish, that released the End of the World album, which is actually really cool. And Incrimination, which is, as far as I know, this is the only song that they've actually released.
That's a
It's
crime.
It's pretty cool. It's death metal, but they haven't addressed them there. And even though it was like 15 years after the album, the compilation came out, I tried writing to them to see if they had done anything else, and the letter came back to me. So I guess not. But that's a cool fucking compilation. The other necessary Japanese compilation was reissued by Nuclear War Now not too long ago. The Far East Gate and Inferno. That was released originally by Evil Records, which is Giesel from Sabat's label. And so obviously there's some Sabat on there. You have Psy with a track as well. And some other lesser known bands like Dark Ritual, Worm, not the American Worm. Hang on, I'm pulling it up here. Here we go. Abyss, Monarchy Infernal, and Void's on here too. So, very cool compilation.
Abyss, huh?
Yeah. I think, if I remember correctly, Psy was the only real black metal in there. I mean, aside from Sabat, but the rest were pretty death metal oriented, except for Terror Squad and Void that had quite a bit of thrash in them as well, but also still death metal.
That's a compilation on Evil Records, is what you said?
Yeah, and Nuclear War Now reissued it on vinyl only, I think, a couple years ago.
Repeat that one more time. What's the name of the comp?
Far East Gate in Inferno.
Oh, okay. I actually remember you showing me this.
Yeah, I posted it not like maybe a year ago when I got a copy.
Oh, okay.
But, so, one of the bands on there, Terror Squad, their first album will probably be one of my picks one of these days. The Wild Stream of Eternal Sin. What a fucking great album that is. Holy hell. So damn good.
You ever listen to the newer Japanese band called Military Shadow?
I don't think so, no.
Check it out. Pretty good. It's like good metal punk stuff. It's Japanese. How could you lose?
Yeah, the Japanese always do something, at the very least, interesting.
Yeah, even if it's a genre I don't care about, I like when they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that band Goats that does like basically like groove metal.
Yeah, like them and Duran Gray and Coulter the Deepers and all that stuff.
Goats.
Oh, Goats. Yeah, I remember them. That shit was cool.
I really like Multiplex. Multiplex was a cool band.
Spoiling another pick.
Possibly. I have to wait a while before I go back to Japan. We were at Psy not even that long ago.
Oh, and Gibbed. Gibbed was fucking great.
Gibbed?
You mean jibbed?
Yes, Gibby. Gibby.
I think it's Gibbed, but yeah,
It's Gibbed.
G-I-B-B-E-D.
It's not jibbed.
Yeah.
Gif or
I like
Jif?
I like the album art, that like slobbering blob man. Blob demon.
I like the Terror Squad album cover. Looks like a graphic novel or something.
The
Comic
first one
book
or
art.
second one?
The
second
first one.
Second one's comic book art too. It's pretty cool. I think like
Chaos
Android,
Dragon?
Yeah, some android chick holding us.
Oh, that's
covered in
anime.
blood. Yeah, covered in blood with a katana.
Oh my god, I've never seen this one. I've seen the other one with the fucking like wolf or fox on it. But
Hey, you forgot to mention the nipple, Fred.
ew.
It's there.
Chaos Dragon Rising. All right, cool. I'm gonna watch this video later. I doubt I'm gonna get to Anthony's at 10, but suppose we'll see.
We'll make it quick so you can
No.
So you can hang.
Don't. No. If anything,
All right.
make it longer so I don't have to hang.
break time, boys. Gang gotta go.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I ain't going. Now that I think about it, now I thought about it for a split second. I'm not going anywhere.
There you go.
I'm staying right here.
There we
Man,
go.
I was gonna mention That band that you showed us earlier this week, Uranus from Finland, the Galvanizer guys.
You know what? I don't think it's actually the Galvanizer guys.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Awkward.
It might be, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Uranus.
Yeah, they're bringing back the they're bringing back some death and roll. It sounds pretty not too original within that genre, but I mean, it's nice to just hear it.
Yeah, it's nice that they're doing it. Well, they say on their Facebook page straight up, like, for fans of, all the ones that we like, Lubricant, Pekeni, Zizma, didn't mention Paroxysm, but, I think he said Disgrace, too. So, I mean, I hear that, I get that.
I love that.
The music is cool from that band, but, yeah, it isn't the most original. But it is exciting to see, Death and Roll actually, like, in the Finnish variety, coming, like, there's a band that's doing something like that. I never thought I'd see a band doing something like that again.
Yeah, and this just dropped on the 13th, and it's only one song, but hopefully
there's another song released.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like
I'll find it. I'll send it to the group.
The real groovy stuff. Oh, Too Close to the Sun.
It's probably exactly. It's probably most akin to like Disgrace, I would say.
Let's see. I'll follow him on Bandcamp. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Although there's already a band called Uranus from Greece a long time ago.
How can there not be?
Oh, they call their genre rotten roll.
Rotten roll.
Kind of works.
A little bit. Yeah, I suppose.
That was already done by Goat Horn. Come on, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like their single from like fucking what, 2002, 2003. Storming the Gates. Fucking
Fred,
great album.
I don't know if I've ever brought this up either, but are you familiar with a band called Devil Lee Rot?
Yes. Yeah, they're fucking
okay.
great.
Yeah, they are really good, especially for having a band name like that.
Oh, Fred, that's rotten roll. Like rotten. Theirs is rot and roll.
Okay.
When you
it's not death and like blackened. It's not death and roll. It's death and roll.
You know, Paul, I don't want to hear it.
I'm only giving them because they're from Ontario.
But yeah, Devil Lee Rot was.
They're from Ontario?
Cool.
Go Horn.
Oh.
Yeah, they're from Toronto, yeah. They actually opened for Sabat when I saw Sabat live.
Wow. Cool. You mean Sabbath.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Sabat.
Sabat.
Anyways, Devil Lee Rot, fucking cool band.
Yeah, Devil Lee Rot. For the kids who don't understand the reference, a little band called Van Halen. They had a Jewish lead singer. His name was David Lee Roth, and he had a music video where he's like, "Give me a glazed donut to go." Remember that? And he's like dressed like a native. That was kind of cool.
To go.
I think that was his song. I'm just a gigolo. Cause I'm just a gigolo whenever where I go. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics. Somebody brought. We were talking about rotting, right? Rotten roll, rotten whatever. Devil Lee Rot, David Lee Roth, and I think that reminded me of that Wario World game for GameCube. When you throw one of the bad guys, he goes, "Have a rotten day," and I thought that was cool too. That's Wario's catchphrase. Have a rotten day. That's awesome.
But cool band though. I like them.
Yeah, cool shit. Big shit, man.
Not surprising I'm into them. They were signed to Witch's Brew, which is the sister label to Barbarian Wrath. So
yes.
We all know I'm a sucker for anything related to that label. So,
Paul, you ever listen to Devil Lee Rot?
I think I might have when we did that really early death metal episode. I think it was Horror or something, where we were just talking about a million other bands in that style.
Yeah.
I think that might have came across Them and like Doctor Shrinker and shit.
Their CD of Hellscraper and A Little Devil Ain't Enough is a bunch of songs that were new at the time, combined with the first, was it an album or a demo? Little Devil Ain't Enough. I think it was an album. In any case, has a bunch of just good fucking banging tracks on there.
That's a funny title. Little Devil Ain't Enough.
Yeah, the
Which
whole
one?
thing was always kind of tongue in cheek, right?
A Little Devil Ain't Enough.
Is that from Devil Lee Roth?
Yeah, first album.
I don't know if I've ever heard that one. Let me see. I've heard Metalizer and then that other one where he's like standing there.
That might be the one, the compilation I'm talking about. He's kind of just standing there with some invisible oranges.
Little
going on.
Devil Ain't Enough. I feel like listening to this band a whole lot. I remember them being pretty darn good.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
Okay, that's on the major league list here. Oh, apparently I didn't know this either. Apparently that's a reference to a David Lee Roth album. It's just called A Little Ain't Enough.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with David Lee Roth's albums.
Neither am I. I mean, not his solo shit, not at all.
No.
These guys really did their homework.
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy's apparently a fan of David Lee Roth, so I mean,
Yeah,
there you
clearly.
go. That's pretty awesome. Maybe I'll listen to me some David Lee Roth.
Yeah, a little David Lee Roth ain't,
A little-
ain't enough.
A little ain't enough. Maybe, yeah. Give it a try.
Please don't.
And it's got it. The David Lee Roth album cover is kind of interesting. It has a demon on. It has like the devil on it, and he's like holding his stomach. I can't tell if he's in pain or if he's laughing. It's hard to tell.
Maybe both.
Somebody says, I love how it was 1991, but Diamond Dave still stuck to his guns by doing what he does best rather than pander to all the alt-rock crowd.
Yeah. Wimps.
True.
Somebody says Jason Beckers is incredible.
The hell is
Diamond Dave had a knack for performing. With the absolute best guitar players ever. Van Halen, Jason Becker, Steve Vai. Okay, maybe this David Lee Roth shit is... Maybe there's something there. Maybe that's why this band is called Devil Lee Roth, and it's like a total ode to our main man, Diamond Dave of Van Halen. So, wow. Maybe we can turn into real rockers this time instead of like these like dunderheaded metal guys. I was kidding.
No.
Okay. I'm going to adjust my headphones. Paul, why don't you tell us about your show yesterday, man? How did it go?
Oh man.
You got a show?
Yeah, so we left at 4,
All right,
and we didn't get there until 7 with all that traffic because it was in San Diego. And the other guys were running a bit late because they grabbed some food, so they were there maybe half an hour, 40 minutes after I showed up.
Yeah.
And
ran
we were
a bit-
we were
a little
supposed to
bit late,
open
yeah, a little bit
at
late.
7:30,
A little bit.
and yeah, didn't end up having to, or didn't end up doing that, and which
Oh,
was
you were
my
planning
plan.
the show. I see.
yeah. That was my my plan. Was I thought we were opening, and then I could leave immediately after, and get some
Oh, that
rest
kinda-
before work. But we ended up going on. Initially, they put us all the way at the end, like after the headlining band, Rottenness.
What the hell?
Yeah,
After the headlining band.
yeah.
Would
And-
that make you the headlining band?
Yeah.
Basically, but the headlining band was Rottenness from Mexico, and it was like a brutal death metal show, but we were playing our screamo shit, and there was a black metal band that played too. I think they're called like Cerulean or something. They kind of just sounded like like a-
Surreal Aurelian?
no, like a black metal version of like the Obscure album by Gorguts, so it was kind of cool.
Okay.
And then, then a brutal death metal band went on after us, or
Were they good?
before. Yeah, I mean, I think I was just setting up my cymbals outside and listening to them.
Let me guess. They sounded like chung 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 chung.
Yeah, just blasting and slamming. So yeah, so we
That
sit
almost
down.
sounded like the Dungeon Crypt vocals.
Oh.
It's pretty good, Fred.
Thank you.
That can be the evil Tim vocals or something.
Evil Tim will be the.
I'm still waiting to record guest vocals on one of your albums. So, guys, I'm right here. My skills are available to you.
I don't know that we're gonna record anything anytime soon, but listeners of the show, you got a band. Fred's got his vocals, man.
Just remix an old album and just add my vocals.
Good. You know what? I got a better idea. Let's remix everything we've ever recorded with Fred's vocals.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, but then they ended up pestering the guy. They're like, "Yo, let us go on a little bit earlier." So we ended up going on third. So that was good and set up and played the show. I think our set was like 21 minutes.
Did the audience dig it?
Yeah, like there's well, we didn't even like say that we were gonna play. We just like started playing, and then people started coming in.
Wait,
Yeah,
which
don't
band
say anything. I like
Which band
that
were we
idea.
playing in this time?
What was that?
Which band were we playing in?
You told my pros with Julian.
All right then.
Yeah, so that was the Screamo band, and yeah, it went all together well. We played like 8 new songs that we never played live before, and yeah, it was good. And then I was fucking up a couple times, but when I listened to the recording, I was like, you can't even tell really, like even with my ear knowing that I fucked up.
That's just the thing. When you play a show, the people there don't know your music like you do, so no one's gonna really know shit.
Yeah.
Unless it's like super, if you're like really.
Yeah, like
fucking up.
stop or something.
Yeah, if you're like stopping, looking around, and like nobody knows what to do, then they're gonna know.
Yeah, no, I just played through it, but man, I've been having bad luck with monitors at shows, like the Florida one. Couldn't really hear you guys. I was just playing the songs from like memory and hoping you guys could hear me. And then same here too. I was just like hearing the amps that were facing away from me, and then just playing the song.
Is there any way to fix that? How do you get a drummer to actually hear what's going on?
Well, they have monitors, so like at the Florida show, they did have the monitors there. I just didn't ask them to crank it up because we were like playing already. So yeah,
It's too late for that.
and
Yeah,
then
we'll do sound check.
yeah, then people have like in ears too, where they're able to just like have earplugs in and be able to hear what's going on in the monitor. So there's that choice too, but that's
Try that.
that's more of I see that more in like click bands that use metronomes and shit, so they can like have the click going on as a track.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be distracting or not.
Oh yeah, that'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you play live, at least when I do, I fluctuate tempos and make things hit harder than they would in the rehearsal before or something. Just make it faster and bounce off each other.
Yep.
But
Beaver bounce.
yeah, but then we ended up leaving right after the show and another 2 hours back.
Very good.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm up for another show like that, especially on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy
Well,
old man.
you did it once.
Yeah, if it's on a Friday, we got to go to drive out. Should be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I was gonna mention when we were rehearsing at the studio, the drum sounded like crazy. Like the snares and the kick, it was almost like Jay Reed-esque.
Yeah. How do you get our kit to sound like, or your kit to sound like that?
Well, I think the kicks, I just got to take out all the shit, like the pillows and the blankets or whatever's in there to like muffle it, because that's more like a punchy sound, where that one was a more ringy sound, so it had more resonance to it. And then the snare, I think I just have to go for a deeper tone rather than like a high one, and then we'll be able to sound a little bit more punishing.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's get punished.
Yeah. Then I got another show coming up on next Friday.
That's like a punk gig, right?
Yeah, you can go to that one.
Go to that one.
Yeah,
This Friday.
Yeah, I was like, don't go, no one go to this fucking San Diego show.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
All right, see if we can Uber over there.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
at
who
some
will be
place
available,
called
we'll see.
some place called The Lot.
That's not this Friday, right? That's next Friday?
Next Friday.
Next Friday, okay.
Hey, I have a show next Friday as well.
What's that?
The American band Morbid Romance is playing here, along with the Canadian Nachtlich.
Oh, cool.
Knockledge. Haven't you seen them like 3 times already?
I've only seen them once, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I've been supposed to go see them a couple of times, but then I just kind of backed out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it's only my second time seeing them.
Yeah, Morbid Romance. Don't know who the hell that is. Never heard of.
Yeah, almost sounds like a
So-
Chris Barnes project or something.
No, like if you've heard, like there aren't many Celestia worship bands,
Oh.
but this is one of them.
Oh.
Or this is the only one. I don't know, but
I
they
haven't
sounded-
listened to Celestia enough to understand like Celestia worship bands.
Well, if you listen to their first album, Apparitia,
Little Celestia ain't
Morbid
enough.
Romance, basically, basically sound exactly like that. They're pretty cool.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. Gosh.
Oh, Nelly.
Okay. Let's see. Apparitia? Okay. I might have heard this. The one,
I'm sure
okay, it's
you
in my
have.
like videos. What do you know?
All of
Romantic
YouTube's
black
in your like videos.
Yeah, I'll get to everything eventually. I'm working on it.
That was a very early album I ordered back when I started mail ordering with the Bazaar, which was a North American distribution for Barbarian Wrath. I saw that album in there. I was like, I'm gonna check that out, and it's pretty good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll check that. The only one I was really familiar with was the damn cave with the, the bats in it.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Overall, like, so I don't really know why Noctu had this and Mortifera going on at the same time, because they both basically sound the same. But and the weirdest thing is, like, he was doing Celestia covers with Mortifera, and I'm like, what? You're covering your own band with your other band? All right, whatever. But between the two bands, the first Mortifera album, I think, is the best. And that one is, I think, the only album that has basically the entire album with Nej using his black metal vocals. I don't think he's done any other full albums with black metal vocals like that.
Nad.
EPs and stuff, and songs here and there, but not full albums.
Mortiferia. I'm not even sure if I'm familiar with this band at all. Is it the EP or the very first album that you said has what the hell is
He did vocals on the first EP as well. I think, actually, no, maybe he didn't, because those were pretty regular
But
sounding.
the one you're talking about is Vastia, right?
Yes, that one he
Okay.
has like some wicked ass shrieks.
Okay, I'll check it out. This one I for sure have not heard at all.
Okay.
That is
The
for sure.
there's a couple tracks on there. My favorite track is the fifth one, Ciel Brouillé.
Mhm.
And that one, along with another track on the album, hang on, let me look at the track list. Second track, Le Revenant. Those are both lyrics of...
Does that mean The Revenant?
Yes.
What about the
learning.
other one?
Crazy,
What
isn't it?
what about si brody?
Ciel brouillé, that
Ciel
is
brody.
like scrambled sky.
Ah, not as opposed to scrambled eggs.
Kinda, yeah.
Gotcha.
But those are both lyrics of the lyrics are poems written by Charles Baudelaire, a really good French poet. Look, I'm French. Leave me alone. But
How's
yeah,
that one song go? It's like, c'est à vous vous chez à l'état, collez pas, dans les pour toucher avec pas. You know what I'm talking
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
about? Yeah, what the hell does that mean?
Do you want to sleep with me?
Ooh.
Ah, the answer's yes.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, omelette du fromage and whatnot.
It's got so stupid so fast.
I don't know.
Fred is Fred. Fuck. Fred is French.
Freddy's
Fuck you.
French, fuck you!
Yeah, there you go. French fry Fred.
Here to hear first. Fred is Fred.
Fuck you.
That'll be the name of my album. Fred is Fred. Fuck you.
Nice.
Sadistic execution all the way.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Sadistic execution. A band I've never really gotten terribly into.
Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
I don't know. I just, don't get me wrong, I like them, but I don't go back to them terribly often.
They had they have a song on one of their later albums. I believe it's "Fuck 2." Hold on, let me just be sure.
They did have a second Fuck album.
Yeah. Okay. So on "Fuck 2," there's a song called where is it? I thought it was called like no, maybe it's "Fuck 1." Yeah, it's just "Fuck." On "Fuck." Track 6 is a song called "Organized Sadistic Abuse," and I wasn't aware of this. My friend Drew showed me this song. He said it sounds like my grandpa cursing because his grandpa like will curse, but like just gibberish will come out, kind of like a cartoon character or something. So in that song, it's really strange. They have like an old man. I don't know if it's a sample or somebody like recording with them. But they do this break where it just like rings out, blah, the drums are kind of going a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And they have an old man going, "Ah, the fucking, you fucking, don't eat your ass and get fucked, you fucking poof." It's pretty good. It's funny. So everybody check that song out, "Organized Sadistic Abuse" by Sadistic Execution. Off of "Fuck."
That
Eat your ass and get fucked.
sounds about right for sadistic execution. Like a track on the Magus. I'll kill you, you bastard.
Yep. Oh, man. Okay. You boys ready?
Yeah,
What are we ready for?
For a break.
Oh,
we're back from our break. I feel like that was
Yeah.
a little longer than usual for me.
Yeah.
yeah, we've
I had
been
a-
waiting for
I had
like
a-
half an hour.
Yeah, I had a fudge sickle.
You had to get some din.
Wait, are we back? We recording? Already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I heard this week? The new Lonely Island song, and it's fucking funny.
Lonely Island?
Is it new? They're still doing that?
They are back to doing that. They haven't done anything in like 10 years.
What the hell is Lonely Island?
The
It's like Andy
guy-
Samberg project.
Yeah.
Rap
Andy
project.
Sandberg?
Yeah.
The,
You know,
the comedian guy?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
the
from-
the new Adam Sandler, the old Pete Davidson, you know?
Oh no, he's better than Adam Sandler. Jesus Christ.
Who? Andy Sandberg?
Yeah, that's his slot in SNL.
Oh. I never liked Andy Sandberg. I never really, never did anything for me.
Yeah. Didn't really care for Hot Rod,
Yeah, neither did I. I couldn't even get through it.
but Lonely Island's good.
Well, the new song is called Sushi Glory Hole. And it's every bit as stupid as the name suggests. And it's about being fed sushi through a hole in the wall.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Send it in chat.
Yeah, that probably
Will do.
that sounds like something they'd actually offer in Japan.
And
Yeah, it
I
actually
would,
does. You would pay for
would.
that service.
Yeah,
I would do it. Yeah.
because they have like the lone booths that you can sit at. That's like closed off as a cubicle, and they have the rotating belt of sushi just coming along, so you just like
Oh, I thought you
enjoy
were
your
gonna say-
sounds.
I thought you were gonna say rotating blowjob table.
Oh, that's creative.
Creative.
Get your mind out of Japan.
Yeah, I know. Now that I'm thinking about like them love hotels and whatnot.
Opposed to the other hotels, so you just sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, what are we here for?
I don't know.
It's your
We're here
pick-
for
it's
you,
your
I think.
Fucking pick, Paul. Come on.
It was rhetorical. You guys didn't have to answer.
We weren't supposed to say anything.
Oh
Jeez.
yeah, we fucked that up. You want to start over?
That was supposed to be a question to the fourth wall.
No, it's okay. Just start over.
Ask
Reintroduce
it.
us
Ask
from-
it again. Ask it again.
Reintroduce right from episode 78.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's start over.
What are we here for today, audience?
You're oh wait, no, sorry, we talked about that.
It's like Dora the Explorer.
Well, you can probably have guessed from the thumbnail and the title
Right.
of the episode.
Right?
No, but let's see. It's my pick, and
Right.
I've been picking a lot of black metal lately, and
Yeah.
got to get out of that habit. So I just went to one of the better death metal albums that I've heard in recent times. It's one of those ones where you listen to it on YouTube and you're like, all right, I got to get a copy. And I suppose that's how it goes for Fred with everything you listen to.
It's true.
But a more of a rare occasion for me. So I got this along with the what was that band called? Mexican Black Death band. The one on Barbarian
Oh,
Wrath.
Sargatanas?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing happened with them.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a band that I've heard a while ago with that first album with the baby on it, and I thought it was pretty good, and got around to checking out this second album, which was reissued on Dark Descent, and I could see why they did it, because this album is probably the best in their discography. I know that they broke up shortly after this, but came out with something new last year. Haven't got around to listening to that.
Didn't like that.
Can't imagine it being better than this, but
It's not. It's
Oh, you checked it
worse
out?
Yeah, it's the worst of the three albums.
oh. Yeah, because I know you were a fan of the first album, and
Right,
you didn't give this one a
right.
try?
No, I never had before. I'd known the band Apoplexy for quite a while. Yeah, that first album I was familiar with. Always liked that for, I don't know, at least 10 years. This newest one that you probably showed me this earlier this year or last year.
Yeah.
But I didn't really give too much of an in-depth listen. And now that I have, I actually went back to the first album today, and I am having a hard time picking which one I like better, because they both do different things. But the first one, I think it might do more stuff that I'm personally into. That's not to say that this one's bad. I just think the other one is maybe slightly just more my style.
Yeah, to like summarize this album, it's like it has 3 parts, just like traditional death metal riffing, and then they have these like awesome melodies and melodic lines, solos through there, which is something I always like in death metal. Particularly like this one isn't so brutal, but it's like along the lines of like Broken Torso and shit like that. And then they also have this like deathy, like mid-era death, like progressive clean parts as well. But I feel like they do it a little bit more of less of a departure from metal and like technical exercises. It's more catering to the song. Even though Death is doing that, it seems to still want to be metal during those parts, and that seems to be like the three main parts of this album. But it seems like as it goes along, it gets more and more melodic. I think it starts with like the fourth song, and I think you guys picked the two following after that, and
Yeah.
I think that's like the peak of the album right there. Those three songs there, and
Yeah.
yeah. Fred, have you heard of this? You own a copy? What's going on?
I don't own a copy of this or the first album. I was admittedly more familiar. Well, I'd heard the first album a while ago. I never really got around to listening to this one, other than like maybe scoping it quickly on YouTube. So I didn't devote any time to it. Um, but I like it. Like this is a great album. It's kind of a weird mix of things, and their um, their description of the album on YouTube is very eclectic. Hang on, let me pull up the not YouTube on Bandcamp. They describe
Bandcamp,
it.
yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it was like all over the place, like melodic death with black and gothic influences, and I can see kind of see where they're coming from. Um, a lot of the passages kind of made me think of like really old Septic Flesh.
Me too, dude. Same. This
Yeah.
is totally Septic Flesh.
Hmm.
Um,
Big
but I did
time.
get some more like I did get some like Swedish melodic death metal in there as well a bit. Not too strong, but I could see like some slight Gates of Ishtar kind of influence.
And you can even
Here
pick
and
out
there.
like some American death metal riffing. Like
Yeah.
I think there's a part where it's like straight up sounds like a Cannibal Corpse thrashing death part, and then I think the last song it starts off with like a Morbid Angel kind of weird timed riff. Uh, More I guess later era Morbid Angel, like Domination era. But yeah, that's kind of like all over the map. I don't really see the gothic influence. I think they might be talking about like the clean guitar parts, but
There's a little bit of keyboards in there.
and
I
like
think
not
clean,
much.
clean guitar parts and some of the spoken vocals too, here and there.
yeah, I think it was
kind
just
of a-
like one song, right?
Was it just one song? But in any case, yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I could see some gothic influence in there, but it really is like a bit like a splash of it. I wouldn't call this like a gothic death metal album by any stretch.
No, it's just
Um,
melodic death metal for me.
Some of it is a bit gloomy, I guess. Maybe they were referring to that, but
Yeah, they have like some
uh,
like peaceful, like melancholy in there.
yeah.
But Dan, what do you think of it?
Well, before I get into that, I wanted to ask you, just because listening to the first one, it sort of puts it in a weird context, I guess. Do you remember what the first album sounds like at all? Did you give it
I think
check out?
I did the opposite of what you've done or what Fred did, where I dove more into this album versus doing like a cursory listen of the first. So I'm not too familiar with how that first one sounds, but
It's really strange. It's like, okay, a lot of people in the comment section on YouTube were comparing it to Benediction, and everyone who compared it to Benediction got a lot of like bad feedback from people saying like Benediction's way better than this. Benediction's way more technical than this. You're an idiot. You think this? Why are you even comparing this band to Benediction?
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I went and listened to the Benediction album that everyone was like referring to, which was always my favorite, which is the third one, Transcend the Rubicon.
yeah.
Or I guess that's technically the second album, right?
No,
In '93.
It's a third.
Is it the third? Okay.
Yeah, Subconscious, Grand Leveler, and then that.
Right, I forgot about the Grand Level. That's the one with the tree on it.
That one's my favorite. The guitar tone
Yeah,
is
Transcend.
sick.
I don't know that I agree that Benediction is more technical than the first Apoplexy album, and I don't know that. Like listening to all these together now, I think I might like Apoplexy better than Benediction. At least that first album.
Ooh.
I don't know, because I know, Benediction's a classic, and they're like one of the first death metal bands that I heard, along with some of the other ones, like the regular names, Autopsy, Death, Massacre, shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think, if I'm being very honest with myself and the audience, I think I like the first Apoplexy better than Transcend the Rubicon. So that's just that thing. Yeah. But getting back to the sound of the first Apoplexy album, it's really melodic, but it does a lot of things that would be considered just like death metal. If I'm thinking about what's probably the closest thing to it, is like the first Eucharist album, Velvet Creation, I think it's called.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Like, because that's probably one of the strangest, or maybe not strangest, but that's one of the most death metal, melodic death metal bands of like the early 90s. Like, think about what goes on a Velvet Creation. You have mostly death metal riffs, and like once in a while you get like some weird melodic phrase that like Dark Tranquillity would do in the same year. But I feel like that's what's happening a lot on the first Apoplexy album, and that one's got just a lot of thrash to it, and that one has a lot of just moments that speak to me more. Maybe that has to do with the thrash thing. I'm not sure, because I think this second Apoplexy album lacks thrash for the most part. Maybe the thrashiest thing that it does is have some riffs that sound like death, probably. Maybe spiritual healing or leprosy. But I guess I can say this up front too, now that I'm thinking about it. Not everything on this second Apoplexy album works for me. Most of it's pretty cool. Like, I think the fact that it comes out in 1999 is weird, because it doesn't really have the quality of being modern sounding at all. It sounds way older than it is.
Yeah.
But with that, there are some riffs that are a little bit more technical. They sound like something. I think Paul brought up Obscura. No, he brought up the Gorguts Obscura. I'm talking about the German Obscura, the Necrophagist side project. There's things on this album that, like, I imagine Obscura would do, however many years later. Those parts are really good. There's other parts that remind me of like Pestilence, like the bad parts of Pestilence, and sometimes those work, like the sometimes that stuff works, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the melodic stuff works. There's straight up melodic parts that sound like how Paul brought up Broken Torso, or like Cataclysm, or Appalling Spawn, or a lot of the extreme bands that kind of just do those. And Eucharist, for that matter, we'll do those like really melodic guitar phrases with something brutal going on in the background. Oh, and I'll say this too. I like the vocals better on the second album. They're really low, and just like it doesn't sound like he's using much force at all. I like it, and I like the dueling between the really high and the really lazy low vocal. Vocals are a little bit different on the first album. He's trying a little bit harder, but they really work for this second one here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, I can hear what you're saying about like the Pestilence parts, but I feel like it's like so spread out from one another. It's like probably like one per song, if that. And I think it works. It's not so much like a oh, this is what it's all been leading up to
right.
parts. It's all just, it seems to be not interstitial, but just a part of the song. Getting to the next point, it seems like it's all like not so much like a showcase, but it just kind of like jumps from point to point in a way that ties it all in together, rather than being like kind of like a riff salad or a genre salad sort of album.
I think that's maybe a difference between the first and second album here. Is the first one feels a little bit more organic in the way that the riffs move and the way that they work together. This second one, they feel a little bit more like just riffs. And I'm sure they probably go into each other decently, but there's something about the first one that I think just works better, like construction wise, possibly. Because, like you said, they're like different parts and different things that they do.
Yeah, it's all
First
just
one,
different. Yeah,
yeah, they still do that on the first one, but it makes more sense, I think, and I kind of like it better. But I feel like the two albums are almost completely different. There's like certain things that kind of stay the same, like the melodicism and sort of the like heavy death metal parts. That's still there, which is probably the most important thing. So yeah.
Did they have much of like that clean guitar part?
Yes, they did. I like those parts on both of the albums. Those work really well because they have them going on behind a lot of the heavier shit, and you just hear like weird jangles every once in a while, and it sounds really cool.
What were you saying, Fred?
I was saying I kind of wish they had not broken up after the second album and seen or heard, I guess, what a third album would have sounded like. Not the third album that came out last year, but like where they would have taken this immediately after this album.
Yeah,
because the progression from the first and second album was very interesting, and the differences are fairly significant, but not in a direction that turned me off of the band. Like, they pulled off this album really, really well, and I kind of wish we could have seen what the third album would have been like had there been one.
yeah. I'm looking right now, and it seems like all these guys were just in this band, except for the drummer. I guess he was in Krabathor,
Cool.
which is a great band.
Cool band, yeah. Cool Mortification.
Yeah.
I think that's the album he wasn't on, though.
Demos are too.
What album was he on? Was he on the third one?
He's on some demos. He's on Lies. And,
yeah, Lies. Lies is good.
Couple splits.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
he was on
the first.
He was on the demos and then left and came back for Lies.
Lies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wild.
And then he's part of Dehydrated and Hypnos.
I've heard of Dehydrated, but I don't think I've ever listened to them.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them either. I do know the album Ideas, but haven't got around to it.
Yeah, I've been seeing that name for forever. I've never bothered to check them out. Wonder if it's any good.
So
Must be. It's Slovakian death metal.
Is it is it Pegas, the guy that was in Krabathor?
Yeah.
So he was in from 94 to 95, and then 2014 to present.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That explains Lies, but not.
Oh man.
Not any of the demos, as far as I can tell.
I do recognize this album cover. It's got that weird like organic sphere thing on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll finally check this out.
Which
the
cover?
logo kind of looks cool.
Sorry, which cover is this?
Ideas from Dehydrated '97.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like they just had some random guy playing drums for the Cool Mortification. Peter.
I like that album. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. But then this guy was on playing drums on some demos too. In 91 to 92 or 93.
Oh, I thought you meant Krabathor demos. That's where I got confused.
Wait, what do you mean?
I thought you said he played on Krabathor demos.
Yeah, the what's his name? Pitas. Yeah, he played on Pegas. Oh, the 94 demo. So like directly after this guy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the one before Lies. I see what you mean. Okay.
Okay,
when I think of Krabathor demos, I think of the
91 to shit, yeah.
The earlier stuff, yeah, because I have that demo compilation that came out God knows when that has 20 Years of Madness. That's the one. I might have the 94 demo on there. I don't know, but I mostly listen to the 80s stuff because it was pretty badass. Anyways, sorry, I think Dan was trying to say something.
Yeah. I was going to give a warning. I'm going to say something stupid. This is a warning.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so did you guys see the band picture?
No.
Yeah, did you did you guys see the band picture for Apoplexy on the back of this thing?
Mm-mm.
Where they have Pegas, Andrej, and Dougie, and it says their name Dougie, Dougi.
Oh, the one that's on the thumbnail I sent?
Dougie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you send a thumbnail?
No, I sent the video with the thumbnail that had that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the stupid part. That reminded me of one of the early episodes of Adventure Time when the vampire girl is like she's trying to teach Finn how to talk to girls or something, and she's like, girls like fun. So he's like, we'll stand outside the princess's window and I'll start laughing like he said something really funny, and he goes, all right, she goes, say something funny. He goes, giddy up. And she starts like dying, and then he goes, Doogie Doogie, and he's like dancing. He goes, Doogie Doogie. I told you I was stupid, but yeah, I thought that was funny. Doogie Doogie.
I've heard worse.
Well, Kramer says giddy up. Giddy up.
Giddy up.
Yeah. Okay. Should we get into a track and give some more in-depth thoughts here?
Yeah.
We could do that.
So,
Totally do that.
like I mentioned earlier, there seems to be like a pivotal point in this album where it just dives straight into being melodic, which is my favorite points on here. So it's gonna be the fourth track, "Prophecies of Chaos," that we'll be listening to.
Oh my god! Can we just get to the music already? Jeez.
Shannon, wait a minute. Shannon alert. We got a comment from Shannon, and of course he's it's a positive one to Fred. The fan favorite Fred. It says, hell yeah, Fred. Pharmacist is one of my favorites too. Very confident songwriting for a gore grind outfit. Thumbs up, smiling. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Shannon, shout out.
Shannon, how do we become your faves?
Why do you hate us? I got no place else to go. Okay.
This is all I have.
Yeah. Apoplexy's Monarchy of the Damned. We're going with track 4, you said, right?
Yeah, Prophecies of Chaos. We'll be right back.
So we're doing 4, 5, 6. Interesting.
All right, we're
Okay.
back.
Yeah. Who picked that one?
That was me.
That was yours?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you make of that there?
Well, I think it's like you were saying, just like really straightforward, and what
It's
Fred
weird.
was,
It almost plays like an opening track.
yeah, like especially with that second riff that like rings out with those chords and shit. It's fucking sick. But it's just like basically a song and album that does all the things that I like in death metal. So it's like just really melodic and also like having those groovy Morbid Angel parts and then just being really fast and then also having some little technical parts in there. I think I was saying it seems like something that Richard Christie would do when he was like really young and not like to his full potential that he was doing like on Sound of Perseverance and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when I was listening to this, maybe today, I had the thought, I'm like, this is totally a Paul album. I understand why he likes this.
Yeah, because there's more like sophisticated renditions of something like this, like Vehemence and stuff like that. Like I really like that, but it seems like with bands that are melodic and like doing like the suffocation thing, it's always like that dynamic and test symbolism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be like really hyper melodic and then have really brutal parts to contrast it, where this is just like, all right, yeah, the melodic parts are just like integrated in the songs, and I think the riffs going before and after them are not so jarring at all. Seems to be fitting, nicely enough for me at least.
Good argument. Good argument. I was gonna say something negative. I think I still will, but not in the same way. You've sort of made me think about it in a different way just now. Yeah, I think I agree with you in the sense that there are parts in this that are hyper melodic, but they really don't present themselves that way, and there isn't a huge shift from the heavier riffs to the more melodic ones. They seem to have found a way to make those work.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot more, like they have the tremolo death metal riffs that are, a little bit slower. I think we were talking about like Death with that first opening riff.
Yeah.
And then, then Fred was saying that sound almost like a Behemoth, like the main melody going on. And then what I really like about this band is their like rhythmic riffs that they have, like the one where they just have those chords ringing out. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that part was really cool. I like that.
Yeah, and then like going right into the from the melody into that, it's like it's so perfect to me. And another highlight was the vocal performance on here, and they have like the perfect ESL lyrics along with this too. It's just people just talking about death and kind of questioning things.
Right, that's death metal. Death and questioning things.
Yeah.
That's how you prove you're intelligent, I suppose.
Yeah,
As a young death metal guy.
you got some emotions.
Yeah, yeah. You also have a big brain like Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fred,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think this is a relatively simple track compared to what came in the next couple of tracks, and I like the long-ish instrumental portion of this. Kind of reminded me of the Chasm, actually.
Hmm.
Solid track, but not my favorite from the album. I think the next couple are much stronger.
Yeah. Well, I picked this one because this was like the turning point, at least from when I'm hearing it, of where they go like leaning into the melodicism a lot harder, and the tracks that you guys pick is probably the peak of that. And then they go towards reducing that towards the end of the album. Abuse is still, I think, an even more straightforward version of the song that we just heard, but it is a bit longer and stuff. But I just wanted to highlight the point of where the album kind of takes a shift for me.
All right, ready for my negative thing for that song?
Oh no, here we go.
Yeah, we can get that after show. No, just kidding.
Okay. I don't love the sort of generic death riff in there.
At the
don't
opening?
love it. Just all the times that pops up. I like pretty much all the riffs except for the death riff in that song. I don't remember if they kind of do it better as they go on, but yeah, that one. I feel like it would have been perfect if that was executed more of like a say like a Black Death sort of thing, like Grotesque would do, or even the way Eucharist would do it. I feel like the Eucharist has kind of been stripped away from the first album and it's been replaced by Death, which I've just heard that too many times, and there's not that much you can do that's interesting with riffs like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been replaced with something heavier. Even something, say, like Blasphemy, like one of the tremolo parts. If something like that came up, I would have loved that. Yeah, but I think a Black Death ideal, because this is supposed to be a blackened death metal band anyways. I think that would have worked way better than like stock death riff. That's my criticism.
I think Colin.
What do you guys think? You're crying?
Boo! Boo!
Boo-hoo-hoo. Very good.
For me, like, I really didn't hear a whole lot of black metal in this.
Yeah, there's really not. I mean,
but
those
despite
melodic
that,
riffs,
though, like,
that's probably the black metal part, quote unquote.
well, that's the thing. Like, that one riff reminded me a lot of the first Behemoth album on Sventivith. The one that's like da na 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 on that first album. I think it was the first track. I don't remember. In any case, it's weird because I didn't hear a ton of black metal on this album, and then like listening to this track again now, like wait a second, this riff sounds like Behemoth.
Well, I think that's what it means, especially when like Swedish bands talk about Black Death, when it's like their Black Death is sacramentum and necrophobic and even Eucharist.
The melodic shit.
Yeah, the melodic shit. So that's where the black metal's coming in. It seems like, because there's no parts that sound anything like your standard like second wave stuff. It's all sounding like basically Swedish Black Death, like unanimated and all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm assuming, because I didn't hear any black metal besides that in any of the songs.
Not really. Yeah.
I think it all just comes from the hyper melody. I think that's where it's coming from.
But yeah, should we get into
Fred's
pick, the fifth song?
Yeah, this one was really. This is my second favorite too.
Yeah, you guys picked the best ones.
Yeah, I got really happy when I had to get to this song each time. I was like, yes.
I was actually gonna pick track 6, but Dan beat me to it. So
right.
Yeah, you guys beat me to my pick, so I was like, all right, 4.
Dan, I just have good taste. That's all.
I told Paul track 6 like 5 days ago. So I had mine ready to go.
All right. Well, track 5, Eyes of Dead
Ancestors.
Ooh, dark.
Dark death, deadly diddly. Thornley way.
Dark and moody.
1, 2, 3, Thornley way.
Too Dark Park.
All right. We'll be right back.
Too Dark Park.
That's the whole
that it?
song. Christ.
All right, we're
Felt
back.
kind of short.
That's what she said.
Pretty good. I never heard that one. That was good. Felt pretty short.
I'm crunching.
Crunch, that munch.
That crunch.
All right, so track 5. That was Fred's pick.
Yeah.
Fred, what do you make of that? What would you like to highlight there?
Well, before that, I'll say,
Oh.
yeah, Shannon, He's right again. Go for it.
Shannon's not here to respond to you.
He will be.
He will be. Yeah, he'll be here.
Yeah, this is my message in a bottle to Shannon.
We're just anticipating my correctness.
Yeah.
Just a castaway. I am lost at sea. Oh.
This is my message to Shannon.
Loneliness is better than being alone, or something like that. I don't know what the song is. Okay.
I'm gonna leave now.
Okay. Bye.
All right, you have to say
Bye.
you have to say your remarks in that voice.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, like in the police
Yeah.
singing voice.
Oh, fuck it, Doc.
This was a good song. Oh. This is gold, right? Okay, Fred. Yeah. So this was your pick for a track. What do you make of that? What would you like to highlight there, or whatever? Whatever.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
is
do-
my United States.
States of whatever. She's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
You know, this track stood out to me. As Paul alluded to earlier, this is kind of where the album kind of takes a turn of its own identity, rather than kind of just rehashing riffs, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that song just blows by, though. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Every time I've heard it, it feels like it's just like
This
flew
whole
past
album
the
kind
whole
of
fucking
flew
thing.
by. I felt like it was really short. I listened to it a bunch of times today. Quick, it went by.
Yeah. How long is the whole album? I don't
know.
Remember.
30
In any
minutes?
case.
40 minutes?
33
In any
minutes.
case, this is the.
Oh, okay. It is
Yeah, so
relatively short.
it's not particularly long, yeah. But this is definitely the song where it kind of just takes on its own identity, rather than just playing riffs that were serviceable and enjoyable, but not particularly inventive.
Exactly.
This one kind of goes like an Argo Slant kind of more urgent septic flesh, as Dan suggested when we were listening to it.
Well, you also suggested the chasm,
Kind
too.
of is. Yeah, especially some of the
Like instrumental parts.
yeah, where the kind of explore different passages without the help of the vocals. That was very, very chasm-y to me. And this is back in, what, 99? So I don't know if the chasm was really doing the chasm at that point. They were kind of...
Yeah, I think
still
that's
fairly-
later, like 2001 and stuff like that, where they're
They,
getting
they,
more
they
into
may have
that.
had a demo out or something. I don't know.
Oh no, they had albums during this
did they?
time,
Yeah.
but during
Yeah.
like things that sounded like the chasm here didn't really appear until like the 2000s.
Yeah, because
I don't know any bands that sound like
that-
the chasm.
third album, Death Cult, came out in 98, and that was only them just kind of starting to take that direction that they would wind up on later on. But the kind of stuff they did on, like, Conjuration, Spell, and Farseeing is the more wandering kind of riff that I'm referring to. But the difference is the chasm tends to take their time with those riffs. Especially on albums like Farseeing, they had like long songs on there that kind of just went in their different directions as they went. Apoplexy kind of just like blow through them.
Yeah, they're using them as like cool riffs.
Yeah, almost like a bridge to the, well, literally as bridges to the different parts of the song. So it kind of gives that kind of journeying feel that the chasm has, but very, very, I'm gonna say rush, but I don't mean like they rush through it, but it like kind of like it moves you along really quickly through it, and with that sense of journey that the chasm gives. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think track 6 stood out to me a bit more, but this is definitely the song where the album kind of takes a turn for the much more interesting and unique.
I
Compared
think
to the first
with
four
like
songs.
this song and the next one, it is like the peak of the album, and it almost seems inappropriate to call it like divine, but like that's like the only sort of word that I can kind of subject to it, because it just seems
Monarchy divine.
really like almost untouchably good. Those parts.
Yeah, there's some really good parts on this one and the next.
Yeah, but what do you think of this track, Dan?
This, like I said, I listened to this album probably 3 or 4 times today, and each time I got to track 5, that was when I kept remembering, like, oh yeah,
You
this
turned
I
it up.
forgot
You
that-
went, oh
I'm
yeah.
like this, yeah. I went, oh yeah, this is really good. So I was a bit skeptical on track 4 that we had played before. It everything did feel a little bit stock and sort of a little bit generic, some of the parts. And like Fred said, here they have a little bit more. I don't even want to say identity, because each of the songs, for the most part, sound pretty different from each other. There's some of the same ideas, but a lot of the riffing is just, I don't know, not exactly cohesive. And I don't know that that's a bad thing or not, but it just doesn't feel super cohesive to me. But besides that, the all the riffs here are really awesome. We were talking about, like, oh, this is a black metal band, kind of. There it was right at the beginning of this track. That's like the only thing I can think of that like is as death metal as this that could possibly have a riff like that is like Satirial. I think is the name, the way you pronounce that. Satirial from Sweden. They had that Lady Lust Lilith album. If either of you guys remember that, it's like a green demon lady with spikes coming out of her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one has a lot of black metal parts as basically a heavy, like, black and death metal album. But yeah, that was really cool. There was a lot of like heavy metal stuff that Fred just said it sounded like Argus Lent. But yeah, this is definitely a standout track. Just it's cool.
I feel like Argus is a really cheap comparison, but it's all I could think of on this.
Sure.
one.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. It's not exactly Argus Lent. I brought up something else when we were listening to that. I can't exactly remember what it was. Yeah. Well, I suppose that's what I got to say about this one. Should we move on to this last track? Probably. I assume this is the best track, right? That's what
Yeah.
I thought when I listened to it.
Yeah,
Man,
that was
Dan's
my-
itching to go to Anthony's.
Well, you guys kind of like nailed already what we had to say about track 5. I had just the few little comments. But yeah, track 6. I think I heard this like. I think this was the one I'm like, ooh, this it's just exceptional. It's really it was a really good one. This is the one that sort of starts off with something that is kind of reaching for like more modern death metal. It does sound very old for 1999, but I think this is where it starts to move itself forward a little bit, and basically make itself modern. This is no longer totally old school death metal sounding. It's getting into the modern age, which isn't a totally a bad thing. I think I think this sound is pretty original. I think it works here.
Yeah, it's at a
So-
unique time. 99.
Yeah, it is a
and-
unique time.
But I'll say again. Or go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because this barely has anything to do with like the stuff that's congruent with this time wise, like brutal death. It has like basically nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And I see where all the influences basically are older, early '90s death metal, and probably like with the last track, a little bit of black metal, not too much, but that's part of the formula.
Yeah, and I was just gonna get into reinforcing the sort of like 3 sides to the band, because you guys were saying that it had more like character here in that 5th track, and definitely in the 6th track, but they're all playing with the same like 3 parts of each song, which is like the groovy sort of death metal parts, and
Yeah.
then the clean guitar parts, and then the like melodies or the melodic parts. But it seems like in that fifth song, they just like go together so much smoother, like that melodic riff and then the clean section just go, just so well together. And I think particularly in this song, they had riffs that sort of you would expect to end, but they extend them to have different parts just within the same riff, which is always something that I really enjoy, because you'll hear, on the opposite end, more like a melodic riff where the whole way through it's just a melodic line, and then they'll go right to the top again, versus like having a melodic riff in there and then going into a more rhythmic or clean section part, but then going from the top again to repeat all that within a riff is just like always interesting to me, because I like to hear that rather than it seems like you're getting more bang for your buck per riff rather than like going from a groove to a melodic part where you would get in like most bands.
Like surprisingly compact too.
Yeah.
Like these songs, as you listen to them, sound like they will be longer than they actually are, which is kind of ironic considering how we were all surprised how quickly the last song ended. But they fit a lot into those songs, especially tracks 5 and 6 onward.
Yeah.
Track 5 just had way more melodic riffs in it that were interesting, and they could flow they could make more time with the riffs because they were able to flow like that. Yeah, it was good.
All right, well, let's give everyone a treat with this best song on the album, As Beauty as Sun. Huh? Mm-hmm. Very Shakespearean. Mm-hmm. All right.
That's what I would have said stupid, but Shakespearean was too.
We'll be right
back. You would have said stupid, huh?
Here I see alone with the thought. The turn of space by me. Raise a sound on the best in the cold. To not the same, no walking way. My shadow is gone. Emptiness in my body I feel so alone. Won't see your face. I wonder. We're lost in all. About
Alright, we're back, and I'll say it's Shakespearean in a way, like you shake a spear. Very,
Ooga booga. Unga bunga. Obamna.
And I think we're having a more of a overarching discussion about why I like this album and Fred's journey to find his most generic death metal album. And yeah, I mean, I think
misrepresentation.
I think yeah, just like generic death metal. And I think these guys do it in a more exceptional way. Like they'll have songs like Prophecies of Chaos and Abuse that are a little bit more like generic and streamlined of what you would hear, more like stock sort of riffs, but also having the right kind of stock. Like they'll have these clean parts and then these melodic parts and then these groovy rhythmic riffs as well. And the way that they put it all together is you know, not really in a way that's surprising, which is good when you just want to hear some good death metal.
Understood.
I think it, what you said actually kind of shined a light on what I'm trying to find, and I think it's just...
See, Shannon? Fred said I'm right.
You're right about what I'm trying to do.
Senpai, notice me.
But like, I think I'm just trying to find the purest forms of death metal that doesn't have like a ton of experimentation, a ton of atmospheric breaks, other kinds of instrumentation, just like straightforward, pure death metal. And when it comes to albums like Onward to Golgotha and something like Internal Caustic Torments, it is just like literal death metal. There's very little else going on in there. Also something like Baphomet, The Dead Shall Inherit, something that's just like so purely death metal in every possible sense.
Gutted would be a good one, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, although when I listened to that one this past week to see if it would fit in there, no, it's the vocals that are a bit too on the higher register. I was looking for deeper vocals. Not to say it's
so picky.
Not to say it's a bad album by any means. It's a fucking great album.
You guys didn't hear that fart, did you?
No.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did?
I didn't realize that's what it was, but I heard something.
I was gonna say, who did that?
It was very squeaky.
It was. It was like what do you call those things? The cheese curds.
It sounded like you were holding a balloon closed and you opened it briefly and you're like, oh shit. And
that's basically what happened.
Yeah. But tying all that back to this album, this is not at all an album I would put under what I'm currently apparently looking for.
Hey.
But it's fucking great.
All right, well, let's get into the song, because that was just kind of what we were talking about before we got into listening to it.
Yeah.
Before we get into the song, the last song, I forgot I made a comment when we were listening, There was a riff that was like, boom, and I was like, that sounds like Coheed and Cambria, and it does. That song is like, you go round, I don't remember what the song was. There's like mirrors flying around or something.
There's your modern connection.
Well, Coheed and Cambria, they were sort of like a metal band, but they wanted to be a pop band, and they kind of like had the emo thing going on. They were weird.
Yeah, I
and
think
what's weird about them too is,
I was gonna say they're
What's
kind
that?
of like in the same camp as like Fall of Troy or something.
yes, they are like Fall of Troy, and Fall of Troy was actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
Fuck is full
Yeah.
of Troy.
They're like
it's like math,
kind of
mathy shit.
metally, core-ish, emo-ish band, like pop music. It was kind of cool. It wasn't bad at all, actually.
It's like math rock basically.
Yeah, and we were talking about Richard Christie earlier. Richard Christie actually
Get
liked
your-
Coheed and Cambria a lot. He went to
Get
see
your
them. And he told us-
equations out of my metal.
Richard told a story about going to see Coheed and Cambria, and he purposely wore a diaper so he wouldn't have to leave and miss their set. So he would just stand there and piss and watch their set in a diaper.
Oh, yeah.
That's Richard Christie for you. So there you go.
There,
It's,
let's bring this back to the beginning. So we'll just wear the diapers to bed, so we don't have to get up in the middle of the night and pee in the dark. You just
Or shit in the dark.
yeah, there you go.
This
Right.
episode's really come full circle.
Let's
hasn't it?
bring let's
Yeah. I mean, we've had me fart, open a balloon or something, and then wearing diapers.
make diapers great again.
Make diapers great again, right? Yeah. Where's that on the Trump platform?
It's right behind Israel. No,
It's right behind endless immigration. Very good.
I think we just got flagged for something.
No, we didn't. YouTube. No one's paying attention to us.
this is
Believe me.
This is the last song.
Yeah, no one's here. Oh shit.
All right.
Okay.
Well, song.
Yeah. Last song. Song.
Dan, go.
Well, I kind of brought up go ahead, Fred. I heard you speak.
Yeah, it's at the end go, so you're all good.
Oh, yeah. I brought up earlier that some
Fred,
of these
like
ideas.
Dango.
Yeah, some of the ideas that are presented here,
Sorry,
especially
I'll
on
let
this
Dan, I'll let
last
Dan
song.
go now.
I know. I'm going. I'm already going. I'm going to keep going.
You got to go to Anthony's, bud.
Hurry up. Let's get to it.
I'm not in a hurry to go there. I'll get there when I get there. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Robert just took a picture of bacon at the market. Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon.
Yeah,
What?
the Cinedust.
There's cinnamon dust on bacon? See what we have to deal with in America here, Fred? You get ketchup chips, we get Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon.
Yeah, the collab. We didn't know we needed the breakfast collab.
Yeah. The Breakfast Club starring whatever that kid's name is. Anthony
Cinnamon
Michael Hall.
sugar flavored thick cut bacon.
Kick me in the nut. Now,
Anyway.
what was I going to say about this song?
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I brought up earlier that, this comes out in a weird time, 1999. And finally, some of the modern stuff, even Fred said, that sounds like a Suffocation riff. I was like, yeah, that's like sort of inching, the intro riff here. It's like inching to be a tech death riff. And then that sort of dissipates, like Paul said, in like 3 seconds. And we get some of that clean guitar into that riff that goes I sound like Jack Black doing that. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I didn't even realize that is basically a Death type melody.
Yeah.
I think the drumming kind of threw it off because Death wouldn't do that. They'd be like, or it'd just be like a power metal fucking Rhapsody of Fire drum beat or something. But yeah, Paul, you're right. That is totally Death. Totally Kyle, totally Death. Didn't even notice it. Did not realize it. But God, that's such a different melody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that also had some of those cool thrashing parts. I don't know if you were a fan of that, but that's sort of reminiscent of like the first album too. I really like that.
No, it was cool because it wasn't like the whole thing, you know. It was
No.
Just caught in the middle of all those riffs, and one that really stuck out was the tremolo riff, and then second half of the riff is a D
right.
beat like that.
Yeah, it's like it sounds like Heartwork, where it's like
Yeah, these guys are like really showcasing the section riffs here first riff has it. I think it almost has like 3 or 4 sections in it, and then that 2-parter riff.
Yeah, the riffs with like 2 to 3 parts in it.
Yeah, those are like my favorite riffs in metal.
Yeah, me too. Those are really cool.
Yeah, so they do that really well, and I think the way they have the structures of bringing back, like, the first part of the song was so good they just had to bring it back and then go off into like a solo, bridging that to the end.
The weird rock and roll solo, or was that the last track?
I think it was this one.
Was it? Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that main riff is basically like, I don't know, it almost sounds like it wants to be a radio song, but the rest of the riffs in it just don't fit. Like, it's too extreme, and then that one, like, beautiful riff with the fucking it sort of doesn't fit, but I kind of like that.
Yeah. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, what does Freddy think?
Whatever it is, it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
he doesn't have to say it. He just thinks, and it's right.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna communicate my thoughts
by not saying anything.
In interpretive dance.
Good point, Fred.
Hey, this is the section where you see Fred dancing on screen. Everybody look.
I wonder how people actually looked. No, no one's listening. Who are we kidding?
Right.
Yeah, no one listens. Who's gonna look?
Right now, Shannon's typing. Oh, I want to see Fred dance. But the opening, yeah, like I said, that just felt ripped out of Effigy of the Forgotten. Wow, that's really...
No, that was that fart earlier of yours.
That was more like squeaked out.
But yeah, it's like a weird mix of like melodic but technical death metal with these weird septic flesh kind of parts
atmospheres.
Yeah, it's a cool mix. Like, it's the individual influences are identifiable, but the mix is fairly unique. It's a cool album, cool song, and probably for me the standout on the whole album overall.
Yeah, and I think just production-wise, this album is perfect. It has that old-school production, but being, so close to the, 2000s, it didn't fall for, much studio trickery besides, like, adding guitar effects and whatnot that you can do back then as well. And, this is just like one of those just good death metal, what I want to hear out of death metal records. I suppose that's why I picked it. And glad you guys heard it from me rather than anywhere else.
And also at this point, I am laying on the floor looking at the ceiling on my back.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
On the just when I was listening to this band, and this is kind of because I was listening to these guys earlier in the week too, I was surprised to see that under similar artists it listed Caducity from Belgium.
Interesting.
The Wyleon Wielder Quest is such a good fucking album, and a lot like the name suggests, that album really feels like a journey as well. And that's kind of how I get with this album from Apoplexy. And I think the fact that the beginning of the album is more straightforward kind of works to its advantage, in that we kind of took it for granted that the second half of the album is more interesting, but it kind of feels like it ramps up to it. Which gives it a certain flow, which I've come to appreciate more now that we've discussed it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that probably makes it, feel like it runs so short, even though it is, just a 30-minute album. It almost feels like it's 20 minutes or something, with, like, all these parts that are so enjoyable and at front of mind while listening. It's not like something. It's not like background death metal you put on a party. It seems like something you have to like actually listen and pay attention to. And if someone misses it, you got to rewind and be like, "You didn't hear that part?"
Yeah, it goes by too fast. You miss stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something you have to pay attention to for sure, as opposed to
yeah,
more
like putting on
straightforward
like
shit,
Cannibal
right?
Corpse or like Death or songs that people have heard like a million
Yeah,
times.
you put death
Or
on, no one's missing anything.
Yeah,
or Demented Ted, because that is about as fucking groovy as death metal can get without being groovy death metal. It's just fucking good. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off course here.
all right. I suppose that was our final thoughts without saying it, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up
Yeah,
one
I
more
guess so.
thing. Caducity. I don't think I've ever heard their first album.
Dude, it's
Really?
awesome.
That's
I've heard
like
the second
the
one.
album.
I've heard no.
Whirler Fire.
Yeah, I've heard that one, but not the Wellian Wielder. I don't think I've ever sat and listened to the whole damn thing. I don't remember what it sounds like.
They're like equal to me. I've
yeah?
heard this. I heard the second one first, but I do like the first one
Okay.
equally.
And one more thing I wanted to bring up. Fred said that like the old death metal he's listening to is sort of generic. I would disagree. I would say that like the generic part of those, not even the generic part, but the huge part of those bands that you said was missing is already like there and important. The experimentation, the progression, the atmosphere, the sort of strange changes and things. I think that's all like supposed to be in death metal no matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess calling it generic is doing them a disservice, but it's just
just death metal.
Yeah.
perfectly executed death metal for my tastes.
Well, that's the best kind of death metal is when it has no tag attached to it, I think.
Yeah.
When it's just
And
death metal.
I think what it's really boiling down to is I'm trying to put together like my own top 10 list, which had never really occurred to me until now. But like,
The most death metal-y death metal.
yeah, and like, that's
Am
the
I
thing,
not
right?
death
Like,
metal-y enough for the death metal club?
I don't know, but like, Hell Witch's first album, that is an album I will hold in reverence, but it's never going to wind up on whatever the fuck I'm trying to put together right now.
No, I see that. It doesn't work. It's too
But like,
thrash.
it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that's why it's so difficult for me to put together something like that, because all that I like of death metal is like subgenres of death metal, more so than like what you're doing is just finding straightforward just death metal albums to like. And like I would put this album in there with just like a straightforward death metal album, but it's what I like out of death metal, which is being melodic and
This fits though. You could say either or. This is a melodic death metal band, or it's just a death metal band. It works either way.
yeah.
But like for whatever the hell I am trying to put together, it really has, along with being just straightforward death metal, it really is just whatever vibe or sounds I'm hearing that I feel like hearing. So another example is Obituary. As much as I love those early albums, I'm not gonna wind up on this because Tardy's vocals aren't what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get out of this. Like,
Hope we got
fucking-
Infestor in that list.
Oh yeah, no, Infestor is definitely in there. Infestor, and again, I know it's going to be said a million times because it is my favorite death metal album, but everything tends to come back to Onward to Golgotha. To me, that album is just everything death metal needs to be. It's just dark, it's murky, it's labyrinthine. Like the riffs on there are just wild. And another weird thing is if there's like a slight, even like the slightest sci-fi edge to it,
Doesn't work.
works for me.
Oh, it
And
does
I know
work.
Onward to Golgotha doesn't really, but the artwork has these weird tendrils going into like a flattened cross of Christ, which has for me, some weird kind of sci-fi connotations.
I
And
think
the same
that
thing
is
with
always
like,
part of death metal too. The slight sci-fi thing, especially in the
yeah,
album
and
art.
like one that I really like from an artwork perspective is on Demigod, Slumber of Sullen Eyes.
Yeah.
It looks like an amorphous blob of flesh coming out of those two chalices, but if you look closely, there's like mechanical elements in there too, which I really, really like. And Demilich, obviously, um, that first album cover I feel didn't really do it justice very well. I've always preferred the reissue cover of that weird hovering bullshit, but that one is obviously sci-fi oriented too, so it's not surprising those. And another one is Womb Bath, Internal Acoustic Torments, which I've mentioned like 6 times today alone. Um, for some reason, that cover feels very spacey, kind of alien-esque. Um, yeah, so that one kind of falls in there as well. I don't
Fred,
know.
would Resurrection Embalmed Existence, would that count?
It could. I'm gonna have to
Check
re-listen
it
to
out.
that one.
Yeah, check it out.
I actually don't own a copy of that, surprisingly.
I discovered that the same time I discovered Demented Ted, and so they kind of just
Uh,
stick with me together.
yeah, I found out about Resurrection around the same time that learned and got into Monstrosity.
God darn it! Got my mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit Embalmed Existence, see if it kind of falls into that
Yeah, Monstrosity
That-
definitely counts, I would say.
what I call the Fred category at this point because I can't really define it.
The dead Fred.
Yes. So anyways,
Cool
that's my
Rooney.
story.
Alright, we
I'll update everyone next week on this mission that no one really cares about.
alright boys, we
Alright.
fucking did it.
Cool.
We're the fucking champs.
Dan can go party now.
Not in a hurry. I have to piss first.
Alright, bye bye.
Hold on a sec. You're leaving?